My name is Cass Naidu. I'll take you through the presentation this evening. The company we're talking about tonight is Vizionary. And just the name itself gives you an idea of someone that is able to look into the future and see things before it even happens. What we're going to be discussing tonight is some of the global financial challenges that we are facing. We're all feeling it. When we go shopping, we know that things are costing a lot more than it did just last year, right? So the prices of things are going up. We're feeling it. Let's talk about that a little bit. But let's focus a lot more on an innovative solution that we have for this challenge. We're also going to talk about diversifying our income and wealth. Anybody here interested in that? Yeah. For sure. We're going to talk about cryptocurrency. And a few months ago, if you said cryptocurrency to me, I had no idea what it meant. But when I first saw a presentation for Vizionary, the very first one I saw in December last year, I realized the massive potential with this company, and I decided to jump in, and I learned very fast after that. We're going to show you tonight why timing is absolutely everything. Now, like any business opportunity, this is not for everybody. So the kind of people we're looking for, because we've already got a team of people who have these qualities, so we're looking for people to come on board with us with the syncing of energies. We're looking for people with vision, like our name Visionary suggests, right? People with the courage to act. Because how often have we come across great opportunities in the past and we didn't take action, and then we saw the start to soar, and we said, I should have done that. I could have, because I was there, but I didn't take action, right? We're looking for people who are proactive and people who can embrace change, because the only constant in this universe is change, right? And we're looking for people with leadership qualities. Now, the whole world is changing, and the internet has made this possible. If we look at new disruptive technologies, the internet alone has made so much possible. Let's look at communication to start off with. Our social media. We communicate so easily with people today compared to letter writing in the past. Today we type an email, send it, it's gone in a couple of seconds, right? So the world is moving in that direction. We can't stop that. We might as well take a look at what's happening and maybe capitalize on that. A revolution is happening in the finance and currency markets. Now, exactly how big is this market? It's a $90 trillion market, and we had to put all the zeros there for you to see. $90 trillion market. Because if you look at every market in the world today, we say the pharmaceutical industry is massive. We say the food industry is massive. We say the motor industry, clothing industry, agriculture, all of this. But the finance markets encompasses everything, because you need money for all of it. Would you agree with me if I say that those who hold the money hold the power? For sure, we've seen it happen. And those that hold the power control the masses. And that's how the world has been operating. And for the first time, central control is being challenged. Because we have access to the internet and so much information, we can now start researching to see how systems operate. We can see where there are shortfalls, and we can start to address these kind of things. Financial abuse among the banks is rife. How many of you sitting here right now have had problems with your banks at some point or the other? Everyone in the room? For sure. We've got huge bank fees that we pay every month, but over and above that, you're paying bank charges on every transaction. You're putting money in, you're taking money out, you're paying a bill somewhere. It's transaction fees every step of the way. 5 big banks pleaded guilty to fraud and were fined a total of $5.8 billion. Now, in our currency, that's a lot of money, right? $5.8 billion. And this is for manipulating the foreign exchange markets. Now, I would have looked at that and thought, oh, they must have learned their lesson now, so they won't do it anymore. But let's look at this. Last year alone, the banks collected over $30 billion in overdraft fees alone. So what's the 5.8? If what's coming in is far greater than that. Another way of saying this is that they took $30 billion from people who didn't have the money. Because you wouldn't have an overdraft if you had the money. Right? And this is not even counting the interest that one pays on this overdraft, or other loans that people are taking on cars and homes and all of that. Worldwide, we're seeing the same pattern. It happened in Argentina, Cyprus, Greece. This is last year in June. And they had to queue up for hours to withdraw 60 euro at a time from the ATM, because the banks put a limit on how much they can withdraw of their own money. Now, if you had 20,000 Rand in your bank account and your bank says we're putting a limit, you can only withdraw 200 Rand a day. It's frustrating, isn't it? Knowing that this is your money that you worked for and put in there. Let's look at the US dollar. From where we are, we always look at the dollar and say this is one of the strongest currencies in the world. And yet, when we look at it over a period of time, that US dollar has depreciated from 1950 to 2006. It depreciated 88%. And now we're in 2016, that figure is now 95%. Let's look at the other one on that side. Up until 1971, our fiat currencies, our money was backed by something. What was it? Gold. That means the government had to have gold in reserve to be able to print its equivalent in paper money. In 1971, President Nixon decided to de-link the dollar from the gold standard. And the moment that happened, it meant that the governments could print money as they wish. And every government in the world followed suit. So none of our currency is backed by gold anymore. In the US, I know that we've got the figures for them. Currently, the gold that they hold is less than 2% of the money that's printed. Less than 2%. So when you can print money and there's no limit to it, so you just go on printing and printing, what happens to the value of this money? It has to drop. It has to drop. So as this money drops, it's buying you less and less. So our inflation is going up and debt goes up. So on that side, we're looking at the US national debt being $19 trillion currently. This is national debt. It's not counting people's debt. Credit card debt alone is $1 trillion. Now this is scary figures, isn't it? Because if you have that amount of debt, it means that people are working to pay off debt. Are we really creating the lifestyles that we desire? What about South Africa? We are 2.2 trillion Rand in government debt. Who's liable for this debt? Who does it come down to in the end? All of us, the taxpayer, right? If I showed you this share, and I said this share has been steadily dropping for the last few years, it's no guarantee it's ever going to turn around, would you invest in this share? No, not a chance, eh? And yet, each one of us in the room here, we are all heavily invested in this share because this is the South African Rand against the dollar. So you got a dollar that's falling. Now you got another currency that's falling against a falling currency. That's scary, isn't it? If you look at what we've got right now, all our assets are in rands. Our retirement funding is in rands. Our pension, our medical, investment, savings, everything is in rands. And that's what's happening to that currency. Do you think it's time we looked at this and started looking for solutions? We've all felt this one, hey? If you had 200 Rand in 98, you walked into a grocery store, you'd come out with a trolley full of groceries most likely. In 2005, the same 200 Rand bought you half of that. This year, if you took 200 Rand and went shopping, what would you come out with? Do you even take the trolley? So we're looking at ways in which we can diversify our income. We're looking for a plan B. We're looking for an answer to this crisis that is there. It's happening. We're living it every day. But we can't stick our head in the sand and say, you know, let's hope it gets better. So if we're looking for solutions, when you have a problem as big as this, a currency that is falling, and you have solutions to this problem, then the paycheck that comes with it is going to be pretty huge as well, right? Our solution is to remove the middleman. The middleman being the banks, the governments, controlling regulators. If we decentralize the finance market, we will be giving control back to the people. And it's time we started questioning this. Most people are so scared and worried about the Reserve Bank. So let me ask you the question, who owns the Reserve Bank? Does anybody know?
Jay-Z.
If you, if you asked me this last year, I would have thought, I think it's the government. But it's not. It's owned 100% by private shareholders. 265 private shareholders.
We don't want to be named.
Well, you can actually find their names are there. It's listed, yeah. And that's how we know that 57% is owned by a German family. They don't even reside in South Africa. And we are so scared, and we want to make sure that everything is 100% compliant. It's because we've been, what's the word I'm looking for? It's like we've been conditioned to fear authority and not question it. And this is the first time central authority is being questioned. Because if you know that your money is buying you less and less as the years go by, what happens to your standard of living? Because you can't, your salaries are not going up in that way. So that means we can't maintain our lifestyle. You've got to drop your lifestyle in order to just survive. And who wants to be there? We're not here to just survive, right? We're here to thrive. So, right on the top there, you've got the Reserve Bank. Underneath that, you'll find the governments, the banks, all of that. And here's all of us at the bottom of this pyramid. And what are we doing? We're feeding into the system. Because of our conditioning and the fear, we just keep feeding into the system because we've not stopped long enough to question this. So as we keep feeding into the system, the ones that are sitting pretty right at the top there are the ones that are making the most money. So are we working for ourselves, or are we working to keep the ones right at the top of the pyramid there in caviar? So currently, if we want to move money around, so I've got a bank account and Vimi's got a bank account. So if we're sending money, I'm paying bank charges on this side. I transfer the money to her. It takes 2 days somehow to reach her on the other side. She pays her bank charges as well. So whatever money we had, bits of it goes missing somewhere along the line. And that happens all the time. So what if we said we're all connected through the internet? Currently, there are about 1 billion people that have access to banks, but there's close to 3 billion people that have access to the internet. Does it make more sense for us to send money via the internet rather than through a bank? So, since we're all connected to via the internet, if I've got an online wallet and Vimi's got an online wallet, we can send money to each other, peer to peer. No central authority in the middle. And what if I said this could happen in 3 seconds? Would you be impressed with that? Mm-hmm. And what if I said there's no transaction fees there? So if I sent her 500 rand, and she will receive the 500 rand. No money goes missing in between, right? When you say yes to decentralizing money, you're saying yes to financial fairness, to financial innovation, and financial freedom. Now, we all say we want financial freedom, right? Everybody says that. But what are we actively doing to create our financial freedom? Are we actively involved in it, or are we hoping that someday our retirement fund will kick in and take care of us? Because if the rand keeps dropping, it means whatever amount you've got in your retirement fund, as you get closer, that amount needs to get a lot bigger. Because the rand is not valued the same as it is. So today when we look at it and we say, I've got a few million rand in there, we say, oh great, I'm going to have a great retirement. But when you get closer to there, that few million rand is worth a few thousand rand. Then what? We're saying yes to zero fees to send and receive money, zero delays, zero exchange fees. If ever you've tried to send money to another country, you know the exchange fees you pay and the delays. How long does it take if you send a wire transfer? It takes about 8 days for that to happen. We're saying no to unauthorized charges, no cashbacks, no freezing of accounts, no unauthorized withdrawals. Where would you be if you could spot trends? If you could go back in time and buy some shares in Google or Apple or Amazon, would you do it? It's a no-brainer, right? Because we know what those companies have done. So to get in on the ground floor and get some shares in there would have been fantastic. But what if we can show you something that has the possibility of being bigger than any one of those companies? Would you then take action? When we talk about disruptive technology, when a system is failing or lagging behind, there's a need for some improvement. A disruptive technology is a new groundbreaking technology that comes along to disrupt an existing system and create a whole new system. If you take the first telephone as an example, it got rather tedious, say trying to communicate with people and you couldn't talk to them. So there was a need for the telephone. Like if you look at our personal computers, remember the time when Bill Gates started Microsoft, he said there will be a computer in every home and every business. And people just laughed at him and thought he was crazy. What's the need for that? Today, is there a computer in every home and every business? More than one. One per person or two per person, because you got your phone and your computer and the tablet. Right? Now we've got cell phones, smartphones, the internet. If you look at companies like Uber and Airbnb, Uber is now the largest taxi company in the world, and yet they do not own a single taxi. Airbnb is the largest hotel company in the world, and yet they own no real estate. All this is an app on your phone, and they're linking someone that needs the accommodation or the travel with the company that's providing it, with individuals that are providing it. People that invested in the early days in those companies got a 6,000% return. Nice money, eh? This new technology that we're going to be talking about today, which is disrupting the monetary system, is not just a game changer. When I look at it, I say this is a brand new game. It's the decentralization of wealth. It is the biggest movement of wealth in the history of our planet. When we talk about blockchain, this is the new technology. If you go back and look at our banks, and if somebody took in a check, so they got a check, they're going to deposit this check. There's a verification process that has to happen, right? So they will check signatures, they'll make sure that the check is valid, that look into the account, the funds are actually there. All of that happens and it's done by people. With the blockchain, it's a verification process that happens using a series of computers. So faster, far more efficient, and far more accurate. It is the safest way to store any kind of data. It would take someone about 70 years to hack into a blockchain. So that's the new trust machine. And let's talk now about cryptocurrency, this term that, puts a question mark on most people's faces still. Cryptocurrency is basically digital money. So previously, we would take our photographs, we'd take this reel of film, we'd go into Kodak, we'd hand in the film, they would print our copies, our photographs, and we'd have it on paper. Today, where's our photographs? On our computers, on our phones. It's the same thing, but in digital format. So cryptocurrency is money in digital format. Since we all connected via the internet, why not have money in digital format that we can send person to person? If you look at Bitcoin, this was the first cryptocurrency. It was established in 2009, and just like every other new technology, the people that heard about Bitcoin in the early years just laughed. They thought it was ridiculous. This is never going to take off. This is some big scam. This is all the stuff that got said, right? And I think Bitcoin has really proved itself now. It's been around for 7 years now, and it started trading at 1 cent in 2009. Today, if you go and have a look, Bitcoin is $655 today. So that means if we had this time travel machine and we could go back in time to 2009 and you just bought $100 of Bitcoin and you did absolutely nothing for this time. And today, if you go in and you look at the coins in your wallet, the value of it would be $6.5 million. Have you ever seen anything like this? $100 being transformed into $6.5 million. No. So when I say that this could be bigger than Google, if you could go back and buy shares there, or in Facebook, or Apple, that this is going to be bigger. You see why I'm saying that now? Today, Bitcoin is accepted at over 650,000 merchants worldwide. In different countries, it's regulated differently. For example, in Australia, it's seen as regular currency. In America, it is a commodity. South Africa doesn't have any ruling on it yet, but I'm pretty certain that must come soon, right? There's another example of a student who came across Bitcoin while doing an assignment, and he bought $26 of it and forgot about it. 4 years later, he started hearing about Bitcoin, and he decided, let's go and take a look. He had to go and find the password to his wallet, and his coins were worth $850,000. That's about 13 million rand. Be a nice morning, hey, to just wake up and realize, oh, I've got 13 million rand. So when we look at any technology, like if you look at the first computers, remember those big boxes we had? And it had that separate CPU, another big box, and we used these floppy disks. Times have changed from then to now, right? So likewise, Bitcoin being the first cryptocurrency has got some challenges as well. Firstly, there is no formal marketing strategy behind Bitcoin. So without a formal marketing strategy, would you say it did incredibly well? For sure. It's not an instant payment system. So if you paid someone in Bitcoin, you'd have to wait 7 or 8 hours for that transaction to happen. And then as we have more transactions taking place at the same time, it's going to slow down even more. It was perceived as an investment, so a lot of people just got the Bitcoin and held on to it. So it wasn't used as a regular currency. It's only now starting to get to that phase, and even now I think people are still holding on to it in the hope that it's going to go a lot higher than where it is. There's also a delay in conversion to fiat currencies. Also, Bitcoin is extremely expensive to mine. What did Dave say last night on the webinar? Was it $60 million a month? Mm-hmm. That's the cost of the current Bitcoin mining system. So we're introducing to you tonight a new cryptocurrency called CAPRICOIN. It's a second generation cryptocurrency. So if we look at Bitcoin being like those old Nokia phones, remember those ones? And we look at CAPRICOIN like being like your new smartphones. It's a more advanced technology. It's a lot better, faster, and easier to use. So some of the advantages of CAPRICOIN are, firstly, we have a very powerful marketing arm called Vizionary. So Vizionary is the company that is taking CAPRICOIN into the market. And because we have a marketing strategy and we are all doing this together, we are creating the demand. And the greater the demand, what happens to the price? It has to escalate, right? Also, CAPRICOIN is designed to be used as a currency. Just as the rand is a currency, or the euro or the dollar, and you're going to a restaurant, you're having a meal, you can pay with a rand, we want CAPRICOIN to be used in the same way. So you're paying for your meal with CAPRICOIN, you're buying a car, you're doing it with CAPRICOIN. It's also designed to be an instant payment solution anywhere in the world. So you can send money from here to someone in another country and they will receive that in 3 seconds. It's designed to grow in value. Now that's about one of the most important things we can tell you tonight. Just like Bitcoin, it's designed to grow in value. The reason for that is with cryptocurrency, there is a limited number of coins that will be mined. Mined is just a computer terminology we use, so you don't need hard hats and a pick to go mining here. That's how the coins are created digitally, so we use the term mining. So if there's a restricted number, so for CAPRICOIN we will mine 208 million coins. That's for the whole world, not one more, because that's how the system is set up right in the beginning. It can't be altered along the way. So we'll mine 208 million coins and that's it. So once all these coins are distributed and in the market, the more demand there is for this coin, the price of the coin has to escalate. It can handle commercial volumes. Here's another very important point, because what this means is it doesn't matter how many transactions are taking place in the same moment, it's still going to be 3 seconds. It's not going to slow it down. So this is a second generation cryptocurrency. It's user friendly. Vizionary does the mining, so the whole process is 100% automated for us. We don't even have to worry about how mining happens, learning the techniques, buying the software, nothing of the sort. So it's saving us a lot of time and a lot of money. It's still your money, but now in digital form. This is an example of what our mobile application looks like. So you can simply download the CapriPay app and you can send CAPRICOIN person to person. We've done all of that, all the testing, and the 3 seconds, it really works like that. This is an example of a desktop wallet. So once your coins are mined, you can transfer coins onto a wallet which is on your computer. That is what we mean by decentralized. That means your coins are not being controlled by some central authority that's going to make the rules. It's your computer and you hold your coins. It's like having a safe in your home and you've got your stuff stored in there. All right? Obviously, you will back up the wallet, so should your computer crash, you can reload it. So what if we could reverse inflation? Now this boils to our money buying us less and less. But what if this year your 5 Capricoin buys you that one little packet of groceries, but next year the same 5 Capricoin can buy you a trolley full of groceries? And the reason that this will happen is because cryptocurrency is designed to escalate in value. So there's our Capricoin, growing over the years. What do some of the experts say? Bill Gates is saying the future of money is digital currency. This is Bill Bonner. He's the founder and president of Agora Publishing, and he's been able to predict some big things happening in the financial markets. And he says digital currency is the first improvement in money in 5,000 years. I'm likely to agree. These are the co-owners and the management team of Vizionary. Ladislav Pastor is from Slovakia. He's owned over 80 retail stores. So he's coming with vast business experience. Frodeberg, he's the CEO and founder of Vizionary. Andy Morbitzer there is our president, and he's got over 20 years experience in the financial markets, over 12 years on Wall Street. And the last one there is Jesper Benson. He is our networking advisor. So the price of the coin is determined purely by supply and demand. The greater the demand, the higher the price. For a cryptocurrency to be legitimate, there are 2 requirements. One is that it must be backed by blockchain, and secondly, it must be listed on a public exchange. So CAPRICOIN right now is listed on 3 different public exchanges. Gary Connor is not an owner of Vizionary. He's just another member like you and I. And he looks at every cryptocurrency on the market. And when he looked at CAPRICOIN, he described it as the perfect coin, the perfect technology, and the perfect marketing strategy. And in his opinion, he says, go collect as many as you can, because this will explode in value over the next 2 years. So how do we acquire some CAPRICOIN? We buy mining time from Vizionary. So we're not buying CAPRICOIN. We're buying mining time. And for each of these packages, we get a certain number of CAPRICOIN. For example, if you look at the silver package at €297, that translates to about 5,500 rands. For that, you're getting 16 mining slots. So what does this mean? Each week, we are allocated 500,000 CAPRICOIN for the week. And that gets divided by the number of slots in the system for that week. So what is the demand for that week? If you look at the last 2 weeks, we got about 20 CAPRICOIN per slot. The weeks before that was, I think, 17 for 2 weeks, right? Obviously, going forward, as the demand gets greater, the number of coins per slot is going to get smaller. So with a silver package, if you're looking at an average of, let's say, 15 coins per slot, you'll get 16 slots times 15 coins. The gold package at €900 is about 16,000 rand. I think it'll be a little less now because I see the euro is slightly less. So the gold package has 56 mining slots. So you'll get 56 times the number of coins per slot. Platinum is €2,000, is about 36,000 rands. That will give you 150 mining slots. So you can see with each package, you're getting more CAPRICOIN as an end result. The Vizionary package at €6,000 is about 110,000 rands, and that gives you 500 mining slots. Now, you can look at this and, like the student that bought some Bitcoin and he forgot about it. 4 years later, he goes, it's worth a fortune, right? You can do that if you want to. Pick a package, get your coins, put it in your wallet, forget about it. Come back in a year, 2 years, and have a look at what it's worth, right? We also have another opportunity for people that want to actually tell other people about this. Because quite frankly, I can't keep quiet about it. I feel I'm doing someone a disservice if I don't tell them. So for people that want to introduce other people to our business, where you can sell a package, any one of those packages, you will get a 10% commission on whatever package you sell. So for example, if you sold a gold package and it's 15,000 Rand, you're getting 1,500 Rand in commission. A visionary package is 110,000, you'll get 11,000 in commission. All of our commission is divided 70-30%. The 70% is paid to us in euro, and the 30% is paid to us in CAPRICOIN. So our commission is divided between fiat currency and CAPRICOIN. It's a great way for us to make sure that we're getting more CAPRICOIN as we go along as well. Then there's a binary commission as well. I'm going to explain that in a moment. Our time is definitely now. If we missed the Bitcoin train, and I think we kind of did, because if you want to buy a Bitcoin today, you'd need $655 to buy one Bitcoin, right? And we're trading at under 50 cents at the moment. If someone offers you an amazing opportunity and you're not sure you can do it, say yes and learn how to do it later. That's exactly what I did. Because as I said, I didn't even know what cryptocurrency was when I started. But I learned really quickly in the 2 weeks that followed the time that I got on board. And my only regret here is that I didn't do it 6 months before, when I first heard about it. So this is Visionary. Let's look at a real example now. If you had 10,000 Rand in your bank account, and let's be really, really generous, and we'll say that your bank gives you 5%. Does anybody's bank give them that? I know a 32-day account is about 3.4. 3.4 is good because it was 2.25%. So we're being generous and saying they give you 5%, right? So that 10,000 Rand after a year would be worth 10,500 Rand. So, whoa, you made 500 Rand, then minus your bank charges for that whole year. If you had bought CAPRICOIN last year, July is when we listed on the open exchange at 4 cents. So it's now 11 months later. So if you look at us at just about 50 cents, what would that be worth to you? That's at 55 cents, say 130,000 Rand. So would you rather have the 10,500 or the 130,000 Rand? And this is the early stages, very, very early stages, because with some of the plans that are coming, as I said, we've got a marketing strategy. One of it is our merchant app, which is being tested at the moment, where we're bringing on board merchants who will accept CAPRICOIN as payment. So that's going to be tested till about the end of July, and in August, that's going to be open to all merchants worldwide. This is going to be huge because let's say, for example, you're a restaurant owner and someone paid you in CAPRICOIN for a cup of coffee. And in today's value, how much is a cup of coffee? Say 15 Rand. So they would have paid you maybe 3 CAPRICOIN or so. So they paid you that today. But let's say 3 months from now, CAPRICOIN is valued at $10 per CAPRICOIN. So what happens to the value of that CAPRICOIN? It's now $30. And you convert that into rands, it's a very expensive cup of coffee. So can you see the value for a merchant in accepting CAPRICOIN, a currency whose value is increasing? What if I said to you that the merchant is going to get a whole loyalty program absolutely free? Absolutely free. So he will be able to liaise with his customers, send them special offers that he's having. Today is having like a half off deal. He can send that to his customers because he now has a database of people. What if every time there is a transaction that happens at his shop, 5 people know about it? because 5 people get an SMS to say that this transaction happened at this store. So his name is getting out among people that have CAPRICOIN. He will be advertised on our website to other people that have CAPRICOIN. So it's like driving customers to his store. There's huge advantage there, and because we know what is coming, we know that the price of CAPRICOIN is going to soar. So let's look at, for those people that want to tell other people about this, how you're going to make some money in the meantime. So if you sold a silver package, 5,500 Rand, your commission will be about 550 Rand. The gold package is around 15,000 Rand, you'd get 1,500. Platinum is about 36,000, you'd get 3,600 Rand. Visionary is 110, so you'll get about 11,000 in commission. Now that 10% commission is paid immediately. Over and above the 10% commission that we get, we also earn in our binary structure. So if you look at each one of those packages has a commission value or CV. So the silver has a 200 CV. The gold is 600 CV, platinum is 1,500, and Visionary is 5,000 CV. So let's see how this CV is going to translate into commission for you. So this is you get on board in the business. Initially you're all alone, right? And then maybe you tell 2 people about it. So one of this is your power leg, and the other one is called your working leg. So this one here may have introduced 1, that one got 1, and then this one went a little bit crazy and brought in 10 people. And on this grows. There is no cut-off point, right? So let's say this one here is a silver. A silver is 200 CV. We say this one's a gold. Gold is 600 CV. Maybe this one brought in a platinum is 1,500. A Visionary is 5,000. And on this will grow depending on who's coming in here. At the end of each week, the system automatically calculates the CV that you've got on your working leg and on your power leg. So let's take, for example, this week you've got 2,500 CV on your working leg, and we'll say you've got 2,800 CV on your power leg. So 500 from this leg plus 500 from that leg equals 1 step. And 1 step pays us 50 euro, which at the moment is about 900 Rand. So in this example, how many 500s do we have here? 5 of it. How many 500s here? 5. So that means that would be 5 steps. And 5 steps would be about 4,500 Rand. So you've got 300 CV left over that will carry forward to next week. Okay? So this is how we earn on a weekly basis from the binary structure. So next week what happens? All the people in the system that are introducing new people, you may not even know who they are, but the CV starts building again. Now let's look at an example of someone that decides, I don't want to tell anybody about it, I just want the CAPRICOIN for myself. So let's say this is a platinum position as an example. So we said that is at the moment 36,000 Rand, and that's going to give you 150 slots. So 150 slots, if we took it at 20 coins per slot, would be 3,000 CAPRICOIN. So let's say you've got 3,000 CAPRICOIN. When CAPRICOIN is at $1, your coins will be worth $3,000. What is that in rands? The 45,000 Rand? Yes? No. So at $1, your coins are going to be worth 45,000 Rand. $1 is almost laughable. Hey, it's such a tiny goal. But let's say CAPRICOIN is now at $10. What happens to your coins? It's now worth $30,000 or 450,000 Rand. Better? And what have you done in between? Nothing. Let's say Capricorn gets to $100. Now our goal obviously is to get to where Bitcoin is and beyond that. So let's say at $100, your coins are now going to be worth 4.5 million Rand. Nice? Can live with that. So you decide on what end figure you want, isn't it? And work backward from there. All right, so this is Visionary and this is our compensation plan. Of course, there's a lot more income that we cover in more detail during our training sessions for members. I suggest you get back to the person who invited you to this meeting and they'll take you through the sign-up process. Select a package that you're comfortable getting on board with, get started. You can upgrade at any time, you'll pay the difference. All right, thank you.
Thank you.